Hi there. Are you ready to let go of the day's worries and drift off into a peaceful sleep? Find a comfortable position, close your eyes, and allow my voice to guide you into a gentle story. Let the world outside fade away as you listen. Morning arrived, clear and still. Celian stepped out to the pavilion, where BNJ was already seated. The man wore robes of pale jade-green silk, a jade fan resting lightly in his hand. His dark hair was tied high, and his smile was as gentle as the spring breeze. Celian, you relate. Celian bowed his head. I am at fault, Your Highness. And what fault is that? Ene setace, ene asked, his tone light, for making Your Highness wait. For a brief second, BNJ hesitated, then let out a soft laugh. You haven't changed, still saying things that make one's heart soften. Celian lowered his gaze and said nothing more, but in his heart, the words echoed with a chilling coldness. No, Your Highness, I am no longer the man I was. His eyes followed that graceful figure moving among the peach trees, sunlight weaving through Unjat's dark hair like golden thread. And suddenly, a sharp, phantom pain struck his chest, the memory of a blade's cold edge piercing his heart, the metallic stench of blood, and the cruel voice that had once whispered in his ear. You were only ever a pawn. His hand clenched into a fist. Pain was fine, pain was a reminder. As long as he never, ever forgot, the pain was a welcome companion. With quiet determination, Celian began to rebuild his web of influence. Silently, meticulously, he sought out those who had once betrayed him, those who had laughed when he was condemned and cast into darkness. This time, he vowed, each of them would kneel. But he killed no one. He didn't need to. He was far more creative than that. It was enough to let them live, stripped of their power, their pride, their dignity, unable ever to lift their heads again in this lifetime. He took their careers, their reputations, their most cherished ambitions, and crushed them to dust, leaving them with nothing but the bitter taste of their own treachery. Unjan began to notice the shift. The once gentle and compliant foster son of the Grand Chancellor had grown sharp, his words like silk-wrapped, blades beautiful on the surface, but deadly underneath. He moved with a newfound confidence, a chilling grace that was both unsettling and magnetic. And yet, strangely, Unjan found he could not look away. He was drawn to this new Celian, this enigma who walked the court like a shadow, his motives hidden behind a serene smile. There were nights when the court descended into turmoil, schemes and plots unfolding in the dark corners of the palace. On those nights, Unjan would often sit alone in his study, the candlelight casting long, dancing shadows on the walls. The dim light fell upon his hands that, in his memory, still seemed to bear the faint, indelible stain of Celian's blood. Who are you, really, Celian? The question lingered in his heart, a constant, unanswered whisper. He would ask it to the empty room, but no one was there to answer. That night, the palace held a grand banquet. The air was thick with the scent of wine and blossoms, the sound of music and laughter echoing through the ornate halls. Celian wore a long flowing robe of the deepest black, a stark contrast to the vibrant colors around him. He stood alone, in a quiet corridor beneath the full moon, a solitary figure, content in the shadows. Unjan, having had a little too much to drink, wandered out in search of fresh air, his head spinning. And there, in the moonlit corridor, their paths crossed. They met under the silver light, the distance between them only the span of a hand. Why do you avoid me? Unjan's voice was low, cutting through the silence. I wouldn't dare, Your Highness, Celian replied, his voice smooth and respectful. Wouldn't dare, or simply don't wish to. Unjan pressed, taking a step closer. Their eyes met in a single, suspended moment. Beyond them, the faint, melodic strains of a zither drifted through the cool night air. Celian spoke softly, his tone carrying a hint of melancholy. Your Highness, there are some things that are best forgotten. And I, Bien, Jed replied, his voice firm, wish to remember. A gentle breeze passed between them, stirring the hems of their robes as if in a sigh. Suddenly, Unjed reached out, his fingers closing around Silen's wrist. His grip was surprisingly strong. "Have you ever hated me?" Silen offered a smile, faint as smoke, a masterpiece of ambiguity. "Your Highness, what have you ever given me that I should hate you for?" The words were a polite dismissal, yet they held the weight of 1,000 unspoken accusations. Undan's grip tightened, his composure finally cracking. His voice trembled with an emotion he couldn't name. "What if I said, I don't want you to leave?" Sidlia met his gaze, his own voice still gentle, yet now as sharp and clear as glass. "But it was your hand that cast me away, wasn't it?" The words fell like stones into the deep, still water of the night. Unjan's hand went limp, his fingers sliding from Silan's wrist. He let go. The moonlight shattered across the surface of the nearby lake, splintering into a million brilliant fragments. And for a long, long time, neither of them spoke, wrapped in a silence more profound than any words could ever be. Now, just let that story fade, like a dream upon waking. Feel the weight of your body, heavy and relaxed. Let each breath draw you deeper into sleep, deeper and deeper. Rest well. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this story, please consider liking this video and subscribing for more peaceful nights. Sleep well and sweet dreams.